All right, let's talk about a word you've probably seen everywhere lately, Web3. Is it really the future of the internet? Is it just a bunch of hype? Or maybe it's something in between? We're going to break it all down and figure out what's really going on.
You know that feeling, right? You post a picture, you search for a recipe, you message your friends, and you get to use these amazing platforms for free. But it doesn't really feel free, does it? It kind of feels like our data, our content, our attention, that's the real price we're paying. And that feeling is exactly what Web3 wants to fix. So, to really get a handle on where we might be going, we first have to get honest about where we are right now. And today, we're all playing in a digital world that operates by a very specific and some would say lopsided set of rules.
I mean, think about it. When you post on Instagram, Metacash is in. When you use Gmail, your entire inbox lives on a Google server. These tech giants basically own the digital roads we all travel on. And their business model is crystal clear. They give us the service for free, and in exchange, they hoover up our data to sell hyper-targeted ads. You create the cool stuff, they get the profit.
Now, you know, it wasn't always this way. The internet has gone through some pretty distinct phases, and seeing how it evolved is absolutely key to understanding what Web3 is even trying to do.
So in the very beginning, we had Web 1. The best way to think of it is like a giant digital library filled with read-only websites. It was open, it was decentralized, but you were pretty much just a visitor, a reader. Then, Web 2 exploded onto the scene. The social, interactive web we're all so familiar with. Suddenly, we all became creators, which was amazing, but we made a trade-off to make it all so easy.
And this right here shows that trade-off perfectly. We went from a kind of clunky but open web to this amazing dynamic one where we could all participate. But what was the cost? Well, we basically handed the keys to the kingdom over to a handful of big companies. We created these massive centralized data monopolies. We went from just being consumers to becoming the product itself.
And this is where Web3 enters the chat. The big idea is to take the read capability from Web 1 and the write capability from Web 2 and add this one absolutely game-changing new layer. Web3 is all about building a read, write, own internet. An internet where you can actually own your data, own your digital stuff, and own your identity.
So this promise of ownership sounds great, right? But what does it actually look like in practice? Well, it's all built on a few core ideas that are meant to completely flip the internet's power dynamics on its head.
The absolute cornerstone is decentralization. Instead of all your data living on one company's server, it's spread out across a massive network of computers all over the world. There's no central point of failure, no single CEO or government can decide to just shut it all down or change the rules whenever they feel like it. Now this next word, trustless, sounds a little weird, I know, but it's actually a huge positive. It doesn't mean you can't trust anyone. It means you don't have to. You don't have to trust a company to keep its promise. The rules of the system are just code, and that code is enforced by math that anyone can look at. You're trusting the math, not someone's good intentions. And really, it all comes back to this. In the world of Web3, your ownership is literal. It's locked down by some seriously powerful cryptography. No platform can just take away your digital assets or delete your account because you and only you hold the private keys. Think of it as the one master key to your entire digital life that no one else can copy. It's all about giving you total control.
Okay, so that's the big picture philosophy. But how in the world does any of this actually, work? Let's peek under the hood at the tech that makes it all possible.
At the very heart of Web3 is the blockchain. And that analogy of a shared digital notebook is honestly perfect. Imagine a notebook that's been copied and shared with thousands of people. Every time a new entry is added, it's cryptographically chained to the one before it. This makes the entire history of the notebook secure and basically impossible to tamper with. It's a transparent, unchangeable record of truth.
And the process itself is pretty simple when you break it down. Someone requests a transaction, it gets packaged up into a block with a bunch of others, the network of participants all look at it and agree it's valid, and bam, it's permanently locked into the chain for the whole world to see. But here's the really crucial part. Blockchains can do way more than just track who owns what. They can actually run code. And this is where smart contracts come in. They're the real engine of Web3. The vending machine analogy is spot on. You put your money in, you press the button for what you want, and the machine automatically gives it to you. No cashier needed. A smart contract does the exact same thing, but with code.
Now, it's super easy to get swept up in this grand vision for a better internet. But it's so important that we take a step back and look at the reality on the ground, because right now it's a mix of incredible new ideas and some very serious problems. And we are already seeing this stuff in the wild. You've got decentralized finance, or DeFi, which is trying to rebuild the entire financial system without the big banks. You have NFTs, which are creating provable digital ownership for things like art and collectibles. And you've got brand new models for gaming, and even for running organizations, called DAOs.
But there's a really strong counterargument here. Critics are quick to point out that a lot of projects screaming decentralization are, when you look closely, actually controlled by a very small group of founders and early investors. They call it decentralization theater, using the buzzword to look good and avoid rules without actually giving power to the users.
And the challenges are very, very real. We're talking about billions of dollars being lost to hacks. For most normal people, the technology is still way too complicated and confusing to use. Some of the biggest blockchains, like Bitcoin, use a staggering amount of energy, and the whole space is filled with wild, risky financial speculation. These are massive hurdles to overcome.
So where does all this leave us? Well, Web3 isn't a finished product you can just go buy in a store. It's a live, chaotic, and pretty fascinating experiment that is being built, argued over, and rebuilt right now in real time.
And despite all the challenges, despite all the controversy, this is not just some niche hobby. We are talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry that's growing at an absolutely insane rate. The sheer amount of money and talent flooding into the space tells you that something significant is happening here, even if we don't know what its final form will be.
Which, of course, brings us to the ultimate question. Is Web3 really the next great chapter of the internet? A true revolution that will put power back into the hands of everyday users? Or is it a collection of really cool, complicated technologies that are still searching for a killer app beyond just speculation? The future of the internet is being written as we speak, and honestly, the answer is still very much up for grabs.